In this question, we're going to find the answer to the following question, 154.72 divided by 7, and we want that answer to 3 decimal places. So the first step is to write the question down, and if we want the answer to 3 decimal places, we need to write 4 decimal places in our working out. So the question becomes 154.7200 divided by 7. So here's a top tip. What you need to do is write out your 7 times table as a little lookup table to save you from making mistakes later in the question. Now this might seem like a little bit of a waste of time, but when you've got much more complicated numbers other than 7, say you were dividing by 58 or something like that, then it's actually quite easy to go through and add, well, I'm going to do it with 7 here, add 7 each time to your number so you can work out what the times tables are, and then you can do a final check at the end. 10 times 7 is obviously 70. Again, with larger numbers, this becomes a much more important, much more useful task. Now, with the lookup table complete, we can go about answering the question. 7s into 1 don't go, so we put a 0 above the 1. 7s into 15 go, well, if we look it up here, 7s into 15 go twice because 2 lots of 7 are 14. So there we are, we've written the numbers in. Now what we need to do is to take 14 away from 15, which gives us a remainder of 1. And then we need to look at the next digit. So bring that 4 down, write it next to the 1, and we're looking for 7s into 14. That again is 2, and 2 times 7 is again 14. This time, 14 minus 14 leaves nothing. So if the question had been 154 divided by 7, the answer would have been 22, remainder 0. But sadly it wasn't. It was 154.72. So let's put the decimal point up there, and we can bring down the next digit. There we go, 7. 7s into 7 go once, and 1 lot of 7 is 7. And again, 7 take away 7 has a remainder of 0. So, if the question had been 154.7 divided by 7, the answer would have been 22.1 with no remainder. But again, sadly it wasn't. It was 154.72. So we now need to bring down the next digit, the 2. 7s into 2 don't go. So we put a 0 up here. It's not quite big enough. And we then need to bring down the next digit, which happens to be one of the zeros that we added, so that we're getting at least 3 decimal places in our answer. Now we're trying to look for 7s into 20, and they go twice again. If 3 7s are 21, so that's a little bit too big, so we can put our 2 in here. 7 lots of 2 are 14, and the remainder would be 6. Again, let's bring down the next digit, which happens to be another 0. Whoops. We're now looking for 7s into 60, which is 8. 7 lots of 8 are 56, which is the number just below 60 on our list of lookup table on the right hand side. So 56. Well, actually, we're not really too interested in what happens from here. We've got our 4 decimal places, and this enables us to round to 3 decimal places. If we cover up the last decimal place, we'd think the answer might be 22.102, but because that 4th decimal place is an 8, we're going to round the 2 up to a 3. And there we go, the answer is 22.103.